Hi guys, Dean here. In this final World Cup 2022 video, I've got a little bit of analysis on the knockout stages, a bit on the winners, and I've got some very interesting news and changes for the next international tournaments for us all to look forward to. So now it's all over, and I can't help but feel a little bit sad following a whole month of stunning international football, which it seems has been my way of life for a long time now. That Saudi Arabia win over Argentina, I think back, it seems like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So let's just take a deep sigh of contentment that the heart-stopping excitement is now over for a while. And we can now rest, as football fans do. But before we go back to our normal lives without the joy of watching the finest footballers on the planet all in one place, let's just take a few minutes to wrap things up. So for me, as a passionate England supporter, it was very disappointing to watch England fall to the French. And when the final whistle blows on your team, it hurts to go out. But there's nothing anyone can do about it, and life has to go on. I think it's a bit daft to assume that a team could be called back for a replay and to get a second chance having been defeated just because we made enough noise after the game about one referee's decision on a dodgy tackle that should have been a red card when it was actually a yellow, or a penalty that should have been when it wasn't. But the social media time wasters know that we just can't help ourselves in wanting to read about how we were unfairly wronged and believe that surely justice will prevail. Surely. And they draw us into reading these pointless articles. Why do they do it? Because they know we'll fall for it. Of course we can't go back. When it's done, it's done. One interesting fact, however, that some of you might have missed was the fact that after the quarterfinals were all finished and England were beaten by France, and to all intents and purposes going home, England could still have won the World Cup. All we needed was 4 red cards in the Croatia-Morocco third place game, making the game null and void, and then another 4 red cards in the Argentina-France final, rendering that game null and void too, after which the World Cup would have to be awarded by default to the team from the quarterfinals with the best disciplinary record, which, with just 1 yellow card, was England. So we could have still won anyway. I dream on. Could we have beaten Argentina? Could we have beaten Morocco? Until next time. If, however, you are an Argentina supporter, of course, you will not be feeling this way. Congratulations are most certainly due. Ranked 3rd in the world for a reason, a hard-fought victory, and of course commiserations to France, who were ranked 4th in the world. So it shouldn't really be a surprise that those two hugely talented teams got to the final, and that such an amazing game of football ensued. What an unbelievable World Cup final. For the first 80 minutes, it was an Argentina victory hands down, and France were finished. But what a game of twists and turns that turned out to be. Superb entertainment, especially for those wanting a few more points for victory in their future footy league. And alongside exceptional performances from Argentina and France, there have been some exceptional performances, comebacks, and wily 3-point predictions from you guys. So congratulations must also go to those winners of the leagues, and I'm sure those of you in those private leagues will be doing your own congratulating of the winners on that front. And so to the future, the tournaments. What's next to look forward to? Fortunately, while we ride out a few weeks of the clickbait articles on social media, there is usually just 2 years to wait until the next solid month of international football and another chance of national glory for our nations. But of course, due to the late start of the Qatar tournament, it's actually only 18 months now to wait. So we are effectively already a quarter of the way through the usual wait for Euro 2024, which will be hosted in Germany from the 14th of June to the 14th of July. And for the England fans, our qualification journey begins in March away to the mighty Italy. Remember that cheeky bunch? Oh yes. And of course, it's great to know that Euro 2024 will be played when it's shorts and t-shirts weather, and we can sit in a nice toasty warm beer garden watching the final, surrounded by our cheering friends on a big screen with a refreshing cold pint to sip. As opposed to this final, when it's been freezing cold outside, so we sit at home in the quiet, wrapped up in gloves and a scarf, watching on the telly with a cup of tea. So let's look forward to Euro 2024 for those reasons too. And let's not forget, however, that some of the greats missing from this World Cup will be back in action next time. Erling Haaland with Norway perhaps. Italy back in the mix. Oh, we've missed them. Kante, Pogba and Benzema back to health for France. A renewed Portugal, who have proven they can score a hatful of goals without the ripe old Ronaldo. Belgium and Germany looking to make amends for their early exits this time. New managers for Portugal, Spain, Belgium, maybe a new Dutch manager as Louis van Gaal isn't very well, and maybe a new French manager. I read rumours that it might be Zinedine Zidane. Imagine that. Mr Southgate isn't going anywhere, we now hear, and Rob Page of Wales is signed up until 2026. But with all these big managerial changes, the international football rankings and abilities of these nations could be very different in 18 months. So who knows how our favourite teams will fare. Looking even further ahead to the next World Cup in 2026, hosted by 3 countries, the USA, Canada and Mexico. That's a lot of travelling between games, with the quarters, semis and final all being played in the US. The shared bid from these countries apparently only just beat a strong bid from Morocco. The big change to this next World Cup format in 2026, instead of 32 teams competing, there will be 48 teams. FIFA were apparently considering having 16 groups of 3 as the first round, where the top 2 from each group would qualify through to the next round. But they have apparently gone back to the traditional groups of 4 idea, meaning there will be 12 groups of 4 instead of 8 that we're used to, with all first and second place teams going through, plus the 8 best third place teams. So that means with 32 teams qualifying from the first group stage, there will need to be an extra round in the knockout stages to what we're used to. That means there's going to be a potential total of a whopping 104 games in the next World Cup. I can't imagine how long they expect this tournament to take, but we'll just have to wait and see. Thoroughly looking forward to that. Looking even further ahead to Euro 2028, it looks like there are 2 main contenders remaining for hosting that, either Turkey or a shared bid from our darling home nations, England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, with a decision on that expected at the end of 2023. I think if FIFA preferred the shared bid for the 2026 World Cup, then maybe the shared home nations bid for Euro 2028 will prevail as well. Let's see. Anyway, no need to look that far ahead at this point. Let's just raise a hearty cup of tea to Mr Messi and the mighty Argentina and congratulate them on a World Cup well won. Congratulations also to the Future Footy League toppers on a predictions contest well won. And let's raise our tea once more to the amazing Future Footy League managers who set up those private leagues for this World Cup, some containing 20 plus players, as they've done a fine job of recruiting more players to take part and make things extra exciting for all those involved. And I'd personally like to raise my tea a 4th and final time to you for playing Future Footy this year. A thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this amazing journey over the last month. It's been a huge amount of fun for me, and I suppose I should go and get a job now. But thank you for taking part, and I sincerely hope to see you all back next time to play for glory again. So this is the first time I've done these videos, which has been a giggle, and from the numbers it seems they've been better received than just writing lengthy emails to you like I used to. Typically after a tournament ends, people stop logging in, understandably, and I often wonder when it goes quiet what people thought of the experience of playing Future Footy. So I would very much appreciate any feedback you could send, suggestions for improvement, comments on whether you enjoyed playing and fighting for those top league spots. It's all appreciated. I'll perhaps drop you an update or 2 in the coming 18 months to let you know what's going on in the world of international football. Obviously there are Future Footy players I've met and Future Footy players that I haven't met, but if anyone wants to catch up for a beer and a footy related chat, that would be awesome. But for now, this is Dean signing off from this amazing 2022 World Cup. Take care, guys.